Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. This is Lukadowski of WeAreChange.org here reporting on the latest developments of explosions on U.S. air bases and military facilities in Iraq, with both the Iranian and Pentagon officials confirming the worst of the worst, the actual start of a conflict. We are getting these videos from the Fars news agency, which is an Iranian news agency, and right now we have reached a time of concern and worry. Throughout this broadcast, we will be keeping an eye on everything that is happening, updating you in the moment as it happens. I have multiple screens in front of me. There is rumors that Donald Trump will be allegedly making an announcement tonight. If that does happen, we will provide that to you live and provide that reaction as it happens to you in this initial broadcast. So share this broadcast with your friends and family members. We will be here for a little bit going over all the latest revelations, and there are a lot of revelations. Now, we're getting some information from people that Donald Trump will allegedly make a statement. Fox News just said that he will not be making a statement today, so we will still see about this developing situation. But obviously, everyone now will be waiting to see what Donald Trump not only says, but also specifically what he does. Hashtag Iran versus USA is trending right now. So is Al-Assad. That is the military base in Iraq that was targeted by Iranian missiles. These are very sophisticated missiles, not rockets, which previously we have seen Iranian-backed forces use. These are missiles. There is still an unknown number of casualties. There are reports that there are some Iraqi military personnel casualties. We have still not known or heard of any American casualties, but from the information that we're getting, it looks like there will be some sort of loss of life, which is a horrible, horrible thing because, again, as we're going to go through right now, individually, there is a lot of things to worry about. We're also going to give you the full picture geopolitically, talking about specifically how China, Russia is also involved here, how Saudi Arabia and Israel are expected to react. But obviously, everything will be unfolding right here in Iraq like it has with the last previous 3 decades with direct U.S. intervention, which has ultimately created this as the epicenter, this as the main center location for where a lot of this conflict is happening. There's a lot of unconfirmed information about the United States allegedly being at DEFCON 2 or even DEFCON 1 that has not been corroborated, that has not been confirmed. There is a lot of rumors. There's been a lot of speculations, but let's stick to what we know here. And before we go and look at the reactions, before we start communicating with you guys here on this independent media broadcast, which, by the way, is sponsored by you, the viewer. If it wasn't for you, we would not be here. And we only are here because of your super chats, because of your support, your donations, you sharing this video, because we have been getting censored for talking about this for a very long time. Now, if you've been watching this YouTube channel, you know that I've been telling you the war with Iran is inevitable, that the war with Iran will happen. I said this weeks ago, I said this months ago, I said this years ago. I even specifically said that if there is going to be a conflict, it will happen in the fall of 2019. I have been a few weeks off, but with the latest developments that we just got right now, it looks like those developments are coming true just a few weeks later. Hashtag Iran attacks is also trending right now. And again, the map that we're looking at, it's going to be an utter chaotic mess unfolding in the Middle East from here. That for sure is guaranteed. Now, the Iranians said that they're launching Operation Hard Revenge. Again, sending missiles and not rockets. The Iranian military has been known for sophistication and advanced medium to short range missile systems, which I've heard and had scuttlebutt from U.S. military personnel that the U.S. is not equipped for that kind of threat as much as it is for those long-range ballistic missiles. So this also confirms with these rockets allegedly hitting the U.S. bases in Iraq right now. Now, we heard of one wave. We're hearing about a second wave of attacks targeting another base right now, as being reported by news agencies in Iraq right now. There's other reports of Israeli jets over the Golan Heights region. There's been very, of course, contentious statements made between Iran and Israel. Very interesting, as you saw from the video that we released today. Israel actually made a statement backing down. Israel actually made a statement disassociating itself with the larger kind of grandiose actions that we saw from Donald Trump with the assassination of this Iranian general. Now, I'm here watching the news feeds, making sure that Donald Trump is not going live again. He most likely will not. We've just seen photos of him with the large briefcase with many military personnel going and rushing into the White House right now to decide the next move here. And the next move here will be something to really consider, really look at, and really worry about, as you're going to see in just a few minutes. Putin was also, as we reported today, in Damascus inside of Syria. It is still unknown if he has left Syria, if he has left Damascus, or if he is still there. There's information being contradicted with that specifically happening right now. But the information that we're getting is that Tehran, Iran, has officially announced that they've launched tens of missiles at U.S. bases, U.S. troop locations in Iraq right now. We are still waiting to get confirmation and information about casualties, but these are, according to some people on the ground in Iraq, very significant strikes that most likely there is a loss of life. There's also a lot of fake video footage going around of alleged missiles being shot that, again, haven't been corroborated. Again, as you can see, the one main thing here, a lot of this information has not been corroborated, and we are still waiting for all the information to come in as this is all unfolding. And a lot of the video footage that we are seeing is actually the bombing and photos of Gaza, not of these latest military strikes that just happened in Iraq. But again, it's important to question everything, especially statements from either government, whether the Iranian or the United States. It's always best to be extremely skeptical of all governments and their reporting here. Now, with this latest airstrike, previously before, the United States and Iraqi coalition have announced that they are preparing for retaliation, and that specifically they are ending anti-ISIS operations, because now the battlefront is between the Shiites instead of the Sunnis. As we know, Iran made previous statements saying that they are preparing for a proportionate response, while Donald Trump said that he would respond disappropriately. And this is what we're all waiting for, as of course the decisions are being made right now in the White House with the top military brass deciding what kind of reaction the United States will have to this latest retaliation attacks from, of course, Iran. Again, the war in Iraq has been happening for many decades. Ever since the 1980s, the United States has been funding both sides, has been funding the Iranians, has been funding the Iraqis. It's important to understand here that this is a conflict that has been going on for a very long time. It is a perpetual conflict that has no end in sight, and today clearly marks the day. Well, it will only expand from here. We look at the U.S. military intervention that has been happening within the last few years, and most of it is based on lies. It's important to be very skeptical of everything that we hear from both governments, but I think one particular truth is known, for me at least, is that this is a bad situation. This is a situation that is going to cause a loss of life. This is a situation that will cause human suffering on this planet, and it is reckless and it is stupid. And any time one person harms another person in this world, it is something that should be avoided at all costs. And that something is sadly not possible from my analysis, from my studying of this matter, something that sadly doesn't look like it will happen here. Lee Camp, who's another commentator on YouTube, said specifically, quote, Iran has retaliated for Trump's assassination of their top general. This is all horrifying. No matter what happens, at the end of the day, the losers will be the people, Iranian people, American people. We should come together to fight against war. And I couldn't agree more with Lee Camp. It doesn't matter if you're left. It doesn't matter if you're right. As I've mentioned before, and as I've always been saying, it's a matter of anti-establishment, anti-war, anti-military industrial complex versus pro-establishment. A lot of particular shifting of the polls has been happening, especially with people who have been supporting Donald Trump, the quote MAGA group, the quote woke group that again has been underplaying this very significantly. And I can't tell you the level of response that I have gotten that has been absolutely crazy. I've been told many times through social media that, oh no, you're just fear-mongering here. Oh, you need to just relax. Go watch a sports ball game or something. That this is clearly Trump committing a 4G act that will get him and the United States military out of the Middle East. And guess what? All of that has been completely false. And a lot of these pro-Trump supporters that previously always questioned the deep state, now that Donald Trump is puppeteering the deep state military-industrial complex lies, so are they, without even critically thinking. And these individuals, again, they've been underplaying this, and they deserve to be called out. They've been saying, no, we're not at war. There's no way we're at war here. No. There's no way someone thinks that it's credible that we're going to be at war here. This makes no sense at all. And again, when you really look at the situation that's unfolding here, as I've, again, tirelessly been explaining to everyone, it's not that we're going to be at war. We have already been at war with Iran, specifically with proxy forces inside of Yemen, where the United States is fighting with Saudi Arabia, with al-Qaeda. Inside of Syria, where the United States was on the side of ISIS, al-Nusra, and al-Qaeda, and also the Kurds. Important clarification here. But the United States has already been funneling, financing forces against Iranian forces that they have been supporting, training, funding on their side. Now, what's going to be unfolding here is going to be an utter disaster on many calculations. Obviously, Iran is surrounded with U.S. military installations in Turkey, in Iraq, in Saudi Arabia, in Afghanistan. Iran is surrounded by all sides. The projections of what would happen if there would be a military conflict between Iran and the United States, the scale of horrible things to happen, of death, are very grand here. Why? Because simply, this is not just a conflict that will be happening between Iran and the United States that's going to be in Iraq. In Iraq, by the way, where the government democratically voted to kick the United States out. Donald Trump said, nope, you're going to pay for a military base that you never wanted, and you're going to be sanctioned if we're going to get kicked out of Iraq. The United States is staying. Iran is retaliating against those military installations in Iraq that the Iraqi people do not want. Not all of them, mainly the Shia-backed influences. There are some Sunnis, there are some Kurds, and this is important for clarification. This is important to be honest here. There are some Sunnis, there are some Kurds inside of Iraq that do want the United States in there. The mainly bigger Shia influence inside of Iraq here, which happened because of the latest Gulf War, which created a vacuum of power, which Iran occupied afterwards. See, again, all the military strategists knew. They knew, hey, if we're going to get rid of Saddam Hussein during the Iraq War with George W. Bush, it's going to create a vacuum of power, it's going to create chaos, and it's only going to empower Iran. All the military experts, all the strategists knew this, saw this coming, and they were like, yeah, they have WMDs. Lies. Now those same people who told you that was weapons of mass destruction are telling you that we needed to assassinate a top Iranian political figure because he was going to give us an imminent threat and kill American personnel, which we haven't seen any evidence of. Show me the gosh darn evidence there. I'm not going to believe you any damn bit. No one should believe these asshat, idiotic, crazy people who are trying to kill other people. I mean, these are sociopathic individuals, and again, this is why I've been so angry at a lot of these people who were anti-establishment, but are literally just regurgitating, and also just celebrating this absolute crazy insanity that is unfolding in front of us. I mean, let's just go through some of these tweets. They're absolutely ridiculous. With people. I remember even just seeing Nick Fuentes on his official Telegram also go off. What did he say? Where's this channel here? Hold on one second. I'm just going to find it here for accuracy. What did he... Talking about... where... Okay, the son of a gun puts a lot of crap up on Instagram, Telegram. Sorry there, but ultimately celebrating that Iran, the supposed sand people, as he said, will be attacked and bombed here. Again, just monstrous, insane comments from a lot of individuals that are absolutely psychopathic. Let's just call it what it is. Now, there are some also just utter idiots on the complete other side who are cheering for Iran. Again, we're not cheering for Iran. We're not cheering for any government. We're not cheering for anyone trying to hurt anyone else. We're trying to show you both sides of the story, and I'm here being attacked by the left, by the right, being like, hey, let's look at both sides of the story. Let's calm down. Let's make sure we have all the information in front of us and don't just have lies that were sold to us by the military-industrial complex like they always have been before every start of the war. That's all I'm simply saying. I'm not standing with Iran. I'm not standing with some general. I'm standing with the truth, and the truth absolutely matters here. And honestly, this is a PR nightmare disaster for Donald Trump, for the United States government, because it looks absolutely ridiculous for what they're doing. Absolutely crazy. And again, I'm also not with the people who are putting Iranian flags in their profiles. Again, this is a war. This is a conflict. These are two militaries going at it. That again, look at these people. This is nothing to celebrate. This is human life that's going to be destroyed. Over what? Over what? What's the point? This doesn't serve American interests at all. We just stopped our operations going after ISIS in the region. The person that we killed in the Middle East is widely known for destroying ISIS in the Middle East. What people don't understand, again, what we're seeing here is lack of leadership. This is not 4D chess. There's no QAnon riddles here. This is absolutely horrible. That, again, we are facing a very messy situation that Donald Trump is saying he's going to prevent a war. No. Donald Trump has doubled down. Donald Trump said he's going to retaliate disproportionately. Donald Trump has even specifically said that he's going to go after cultural sites. Again, when you have Hezbollah saying, hey, let's not kill civilians, let's make sure if we're fighting, only military men are fighting military men. PR strategically, again, I'm not on the side of Hezbollah, but PR strategically, they're playing that card better off than Donald Trump, who on the world stage is like, I'm just going to bomb cultural centers where civilians are. Because that's where civilians are, the cultural historic centers that Donald Trump now 3 times tripled down on and said that he would be bombing. That's extremely bad PR. All right, I'm trying to look at the super chats here so I could get to everyone's questions and comments to everything that is unfolding. We got some going on right now. Hold on one second. Let me just launch these right over here and see what everyone is saying. Riv2319 says, been waiting for you, Luke. Got me EKD mug on the way. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself mug. Oh, yeah, we got those in the store, by the way. Talk about some crazy events going on today. It's time for the 60s anti-war music. Yeah, it's not just time for the 60s anti-war music. It's time for the anti-war movement to actually exist. We got a £5 super chat by Light Green Leaf. The world is run by satanic pedophile psychopaths. Keep doing your bit to expose them. Thank you, Luke. Well, thank you so much, Light Green Leaf. Really appreciate that. Matthew Halazet says this was just a way for Iran to save face for us killing their general. It will end here if Trump does nothing. I don't believe Trump will do nothing. I believe Trump has doubled down, has said that he's going to react disproportionately, has said that he spent $2 trillion. There's a reason. Listen, let's just think about this for a second. Let's just think about this. If the United States military is spending $2 trillion, that's a lot of money. If they're spending that money, you think they're not going to be using something that they invested $2 trillion? Do you know how many people got rich off of that? You know how crazy people get over money? Why wouldn't they want more of that? And again, look what's happening in the stock market right now. Let's just look it up right now. With specifically, before I went on, gold, Bitcoin, military-industrial complex, all of those going dramatically up. Everything else, not doing so well. Dow Jones futures dive on Iranian missile attack. Oil prices surge. U.S. stock futures plunge. Again, I got in an argument with Mike Cernovich. This is the second time I'm arguing with him because, again, I just disagree with what he is saying. But I specifically, he's talking about the World Cup now for some reason. He says, if you laugh at the World Cup stuff, I would have to talk to a real expert. The Qataris will lose their minds if Iran does anything to jeopardize the Qataris holding the FIFA World Cup. We're dealing with situations that are far more important than the FIFA World Cups. But specifically, earlier today, Cernovich put out that, there's no way there's going to be war. Look at the stock market. It's all fine. Stock market's not really doing that well now, especially with, again, Bitcoin, gold, oil, all of that, especially the military-industrial complex stocks that have been going up. I posted a meme today that is pretty telling of the exact situation that we're dealing with. And it pretty much here demonstrates Northam, Grumman, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, all just placing bets on, of course, American teenagers and Iranian teenagers assassinating, killing, murdering, hurting themselves, all for, of course, the profit of a few individuals, which, of course, will happen here. This is an important thing that we need to understand. This is the ultimate thing that will happen here. All right, let's go back. I wish there was a way to see all the other ones. Been waiting. Okay, where are the other super chats? Pop out. No. Okay. I could give a damn about World War III. Thank you. Okay, so we're trying to read through some of the super chats. People are saying buy dollar. Gold was 34 points, now 17. So do I buy stock on Lockheed? If you want to have a bad conscience, if you want to put your money supporting the military-industrial complex, you do whatever you want. You're an individual. You're free to do as you please. But again, this is not something that I would personally do, that I would personally not recommend at all, because it is something that, of course, will only perpetuate the military-industrial complex and bring on more human suffering. That again, is just totally pointless. Absolutely worthless. Again, I'm trying to find all the exact super chats. I think I got them right here. Okay, so I could respond to everyone. Yodelfish gave a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Chris Primer says, can we all just settle and forget our differences with a bowl of Texas chili? All right, here it works wonders. Chris Primer, of course, you're bringing up the fact of Alex Jones talking about how he had a chili bowl and it made him forget his kid's teacher's name. And if Texas chili is that good, I was just in Texas, by the way. I think we all should have some chili. I think we all should kind of calm down, relax, look each other in the eye and understand that, hey, this is not a good situation. The anti-war movement needs to come back. The actual conscious, smart, intelligent left and right need to come together to avoid a disaster and to kick out the psychopathic leaders who are willing to sacrifice their own citizens in both states, in both governments. And both of the people who are involved here, the people need to rise up more than ever. The people of Iran need to rise up. The people of America need to rise up and let their voices be heard that enough is enough. Like, when will we just not get it that war is stupid? And again, and I'm saying this, and I'm saying this again because I've been warning about this. You've been watching these videos for years. I'm like, oh man, it's building up. It's going to get bad. It's going to get hairy. It's hairy already. It's beyond hairy. Okay, let's get over here with the rest of the comments. We got the Truth Lady saying Iraq evicted them from bases and allowing Iran to destroy them. Yes, the Truth Lady is talking about specifically the vote that happened in Iraqi parliament that evicted and asked the United States to leave their country. The United States has not done so. Donald Trump has undiplomatically responded, threatening sanctions, and that Iraq needs to pay for a base that they never wanted. AJS gave a $5 super chat and says, who actually wants this to happen? Literally no one. Wow. Thanks for the honest reporting. Thank you, AJ West. There are some delusional MAGA people who are flip-flopping. They're constantly going back and forth depending where their wind is. A lot of big MAGA personalities, a lot of big right-wing personalities that we've been calling out for a while, that we're definitely calling out now, that are just like, well, you know, this guy was bad. We needed to assassinate him. I'm like, and I'm just pulling my hair out because I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? If we're going to act like the world police and assassinate extrajudiciously without a court of law, without a judge, jury, and prosecutor, just Trump decided to kill that guy, this is, again, a power that we've been warning about specifically. We've been warning about specifically with Barack Obama. Barack Obama is responsible here, by the way. Barack Obama is mainly responsible here because he set the precedent for allowing the executive office of the White House to assassinate and murder anyone they wanted without a court of law. Let me pull up the footage. Let me put up the footage if I could find it, because YouTube censors the crap out of us right now. We can't even find the videos. Obama, Gibbs. What was it? Deposition matrix. Again, we confronted that Obama's right. See, you can't look. I typed in "We Are Change." PPS, Associated Press, CNN, Associated Press. You son of a guns! You lying, cheating scum of YouTube that are denying my voice from frickin' getting out there. You type in a direct video, I frickin' did, and you will hide it from the people. I'm getting messages. I'm so angry. I'm getting so angry because this is their censorship to the fullest extent, hiding the information from you. Again, how will I find my video now? How? If you blacklist me from the entire frickin' search. This is when you know we're at the tip of the frickin' spear because we're getting screwed over. Look at this. CNN, the Obama White House, Associated Press, propaganda outlets that work for the military-industrial complex. I typed in "We Are Change, Obama Gibbs, deposition matrix." Robert, let me try again. Robert Gibbs, let me go more specific here. Confronted. This is absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You gotta be freaking kidding me, YouTube, you scumbags. You evil little Silicon Valley latte sipping stupid idiots who are responsible for this, okay? When you look at who's responsible for creating the next war, it's people who are denying you information, because we've been warning about the president having executive power that Obama just granted himself to kill people, right? And here we go, finally. Obama's top advisor, Robert Gibbs. We have to change the title. I'm so freaking pissed off. I'm so pissed off by these freaking look how much I have to scroll up. Look how much I have to scroll up. Direct freaking phrases here. I typed in my channel. I lost it. Wait, here it is. There you go. I want to play this video. I want to play this video for you. All right, because this is us. All right, this is us all the way back in 2012, warning you that what Obama was doing was extremely dangerous. Donald Trump has taken this power that Obama gave him, and now we're in this mess that we're in. You believe?
The water from my room. This is kind of like
I'll be right back, guys.
Please,
I can't just really quick. I got to go backstage, guys.
We can just walk and talk if that's okay. Yeah, no, I'm like 10 minutes.
We just want to know one thing. We'll walk with you. Can you justify Obama's flip-flopping on the NDAA? He said he didn't want it. Now he's fighting in a court in New York to keep the NDAA indefinite detention provision.
Look, guys, I'm going to run the debate. I appreciate it.
Can you explain his flip-flopping? You want to talk to him, no? See, you answer his question.
I think the press secretary is handling it well because he's told people what we know when we know it.
And what about Hillary Clinton
Guys, you
saying
can't
she
come back
felt
here.
responsible?
Guys, you can't.
Candidates have, and I think he believes rightly so that it's been a strength of him and his administration.
How will Obama defend his secret kill list next week at the foreign policy debate?
Well, look, this president has taken the fight to Al-Qaeda.
Does this justify a kill list?
When there are people that are trying to harm us and have pledged to bring terror to these shores, we've taken that fight to them.
Without due process of law?
We have taken that fight to them.
Without a court of law?
We took
illegally against the Geneva Convention?
I think I know where you are on this issue. I'm just trying to answer your questions without without you doing it. But if you want to answer my question,
I'm just trying to deal with the spin.
No, actually, you're just answering my question. So I'll go to somebody who might want to listen to what I have to say.
About undecided voters before the debate.
I won't say anything else. How will he defend the kill list?
Again, I think he is happy to talk about taking a fight to Al-Qaeda, making sure that those who have pledged to do harm to people in this country and bring terror to our shores, what we have to do to make sure that doesn't happen.
Did the town hall debate
Tapes from 4 years ago. Why don't they get out?
You said it's important for the president, to do what needs to be done in terms of members of Al-Qaeda and people who pose a threat. Do you think that the killing of Anwar al-Awlaki's 16-year-old son, who is an American citizen, is justifiable?
I'm not going to get into Anwar al-Awlaki's son. I know that Anwar al-Awlaki renounced his citizenship.
His son was still an American citizen.
Did great harm to people in this country. And was a regional Al-Qaeda commander hoping to inflict harm and destruction on people that share his religion and others in this country. And
that's an American citizen that's being targeted without due process of law, without trial, and he's underage, he's a minor.
I would suggest that you should have a far more responsible father if they're truly concerned about the well-being of their children. I don't think becoming an Al-Qaeda jihadist terrorist is the best way to go about doing your business.
Robert, what did you think of that? What did you think?
Wow. And again, specifically, what you need to understand here is the 16-year-old kid wasn't.
I have no idea what you're talking.
Wasn't a jihadi. Again, that's also Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who we confronted on the kill list, who had no idea what we were talking about. He said, no, the kill list, there is no kill list. Again, this is the same deposition matrix, the same AUMF justification from the White House to do whatever the hell they want. I saw people pissed off because Congress is trying to, of course, stop Donald Trump from launching a war. And people are like, well, no, they're trying to hurt. No. One person should never be in charge of killing someone or starting a war. Never. There should be some kind of checks and balances. There should be some kind of due process. Again, this is what Obama eviscerated. And when it came down to a 16-year-old American citizen from Denver that was looking for his father, he was assassinated by direct signing, direct call from Barack Obama. This is something that we saw. This is something that we warned about. This is something that YouTube now suppresses. So, again, the 16-year-old American citizen deserved to be died, deserved to be killed, deserved to be drone bombed because he should have had a better father. This is absolutely insane. People don't get to choose their fathers. That bubbling fool. Let's go back to some of the chat rooms that are going on here. What else was going on here? Dan Zig says depopulation by world war. Let's hope not. But essentially, I'm gonna pull up the map in just a little bit before we go over the latest updates. Alex I'm really hard about reading names. Thank you for the $19.99 super chat. Really appreciate that. I already read yours, Riv Rav. Let's keep it going here. Flick Off says epic fail. What are you there mentioning specifically? Samantha Brown says, keep doing what you're doing, Luke. People don't get it. Frustration be the change. My heart has sunk. Yeah, you can't let these people win. You always have to keep informing yourself. You always have to raise your voice. You let these people win, it's over. There's still a big pocket of resistance. You talk to anyone in the street, no one wants a freaking war. There's some idiot personalities that want a war. There's some crazy people on the mainstream media that are psychopaths that are abusing alcohol and other substances that want a war. But predominantly, most people want families, want prosperity, want freedom, want the opportunity to work and have a job to be able to earn a living. Most people want to live. And again, don't let these crazy people take over. Bakish Smiley says we need depopulation through violence, aka war or soft, slow kill. What? Chemtrail poison? Chemtrails will eventually affect our health, I believe. Okay. All right, Bakish Smiley for the $5 super chat. Okay, that's your point of view. Bakish Smiley, also $10 super chat. It's the same guy. Peace won't come because too many Americans are pedo politicians, elites to rule us, but whatever, don't drive over the speed limit. I could see that. I could see that point of view. A Private Death says, I was joking about buying stocks. Much love, brother. Thank you so much, Private Death, for clarifying. There are some heartless, bloodthirsty individuals on Wall Street right now who are like, buy military-industrial complex, buy. I can't understand that. Those people, their soul and their consciousness is going to be severely affected by the ramifications of their actions because they could try to disassociate any way they want, but in all reality, they're financing a death machine, and that's essentially what the military-industrial complex is. Illusions77, $30 super chat. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for your channel. I've just joined a few minutes. What's the end game, and how do we see it play out after the Iran revenge strikes? Note, bring our troops home safe. Thanks. Yeah, bring the troops back home safe. If there's any casualties, that's a freaking atrocity that didn't need to happen. So let me break down strategically what's going to happen. So right now we saw missiles. Not rockets, missiles. And that's significant because usually when Iranian and Iranian proxy forces attack a location, they use rockets. This time, they used missiles that are far more powerful than previously used by their regime. And they launched an attack. What we're getting information is on 2 separate U.S. military installations where U.S. troops were, and they have launched those attacks again from Iran. Now, Donald Trump is meeting in the White House with the top military brass, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of State, the Vice President. All of them are in their safe little bunker discussing the next plan here. What we most likely will see, since the United States has bases in Turkey, bases in Iraq, forces guarding Syrian oil, forces in Afghanistan, and again, we could actually see why U.S. forces are staying in Syria when they left the Kurds, but they're still guarding the Syrian oil that they won't give to Syria. The United States military is denying a government its right to its own natural resource. But they may need that because Iraq, again, does not want the United States in there. And I don't blame them. Because if the United States is in Iraq, the Iranian Shia forces that gained a lot of power here in this region, well, they're going to have another war here. The Iraqi people, the Iraqi civilians, are going to be casualties of that war. The Iranian people are going to be casualties of that war. And if Iraq cuts off the supplies, and the United States, at the worst possible situation, may have to retreat or may have to launch operations from Syria, they will have an energy resource to do so. And this is why it may be crucial for the United States to be where they are in Syria. Again, I'm not talking like it's a right thing to do. I'm just talking about strategy here. Now, but outside of the back and forth attacks, because most likely what will happen is the United States will launch military airstrikes into Iran. And when they launch military airstrikes into Iran, they will go after many different facilities. The bombing campaign will be extensive, and hopefully it will stop. But with the Shia forces in Iraq and with more military troops going into Kuwait, more U.S. military troops coming from the United States, right now, as we're speaking, U.S. forces are going into Iraq. They're going into Afghanistan. They're going into Saudi Arabia. They're going into Turkey. They're going into Kuwait. By the way, the United States military is surrounding Iran. With all of those U.S. personnel, these are all targets for not just the Iranian government, by the way, but the Shia-influenced rebel groups all throughout this region that will launch their own separate attacks. Again, when you look at Iran and Shia terrorism that happened a few decades ago, it was significant. They're the ones. They're the ones that created the kind of jihadi suicide bombs, which is now predominantly being carried out by Sunnis. Previously, before, it was predominantly carried out by the Shias. But right now, we're seeing a clash of civilizations between Iran, which, by the way, just also announced a bigger discovery of oil inside of their country, versus Saudi Arabia, another major oil producer in the region. And these two are fighting for competition, not only on the world stage because of oil, but also because the Sunni religion clashes with the Shiite religion. The Shiite religion clashes with the Sunni, and this is the larger clash of civilizations that is happening here. Turkey is with Saudi Arabia. Sorry, I apologize that. Israel is with Saudi Arabia. The United States is with Saudi Arabia. The United States is with Israel, who, by the way, is backing away from ties to Donald Trump for some reason. Turkey is a wild card. Syria, of course, is with Iran. So is Russia, that has military installations here. Now, after Iran just retaliated, the United States will retaliate, most likely with a bombing campaign. Then we'll see a bigger civil war kind of clash of civilizations break out all throughout the Middle East with U.S. targets being attacked. And again, the U.S. forces, the U.S. targets are only being built up right now, meaning that there's going to be more casualties, more deaths from the United States because of Donald Trump doubling down and bringing troops into the region instead of bringing them home. The right thing to do would be to bring them home, to end this nonsense, to end this lunacy, because it doesn't serve the people of the United States. It doesn't make America great again. There's absolutely no reason to be in there. It has created calamities. It has created destruction. It has created Al-Qaeda. It has created ISIS. It will create another huge, potential, explosive, dangerous situation that threatens my safety, your safety, the safety of your family, the safety of a lot of people. And I say that not hyperbolically. I say that because we have Russia, with, by the way, news reports happening right now that Vladimir Putin may still be in Damascus right now as we're speaking. But we have Russia that will, throughout these conflicts, most likely get involved and jump in. We have already seen a Russian military jet being shot down by Turkey. We have seen other Russian personnel being shot down. We have seen Russian mercenaries being killed and assassinated by U.S. forces already in the region. Already, it is very tense in the proxy war that's happening in Syria. And Russia most likely will be jumping in during some stage between the back and forth that's going to be happening and unfolding in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen. And China most likely will be financing it. As China will be financing it and throwing in their money to Iran, as of course Iran and China have an energy deal, have a military deal. By the way, China, Russia, and Iran just recently also conducted a major military exercise that should have a lot of people worried and concerned. On this side of the world, we're going to have South Korea and Japan that the United States will be actively asking to help participate in this larger global war that's happening. South Korea and Japan, they hate each other, but they're going to look at each other and be like, you know what? No, that's crazy. We're not getting involved here. And China will, of course, keep their involvement monetary with a lot of their financial resources being able to help finance the bigger proxy warfares with the Shias throughout all this region. Russia, this is where the really true potential is. Europe will, of course, be looking at the United States like we lost our minds, and they rightfully will have that. There will be some contention between Germany, the United Kingdom, France. Already there's some news reports. I haven't been able to verify this, but there are some news reports that France has shut down its airspace temporarily for U.S. military personnel. This is why we saw many U.S. military jets go around France within the last few days, because France is very angry. We also saw the leadership of France meet with Russia also recently before Russia's trip to Syria. So with Putin's trip to Syria, he has also offered up S-400 systems to Iraq. Strategically, trying, of course, to make sure that he could leverage and show Iraq that he will be there for them if they switch sides. I think it's pretty much official that they already did switch sides. We're also getting information right now that the FAA has shut down this entire specific region and has banned all airlines from flying over Iraq and Iran, and rightfully so, because at any moment, at any time, we're going to see the retaliation from the United States. By the way, it's still current time in Iran. The time right now in Iran is still in the very early morning hours. It's still only 6 a.m. right now in Iran, and this attack was launched not so long ago in the cover of darkness. And again, if the United States responds, it may be in another 20 hours or so, also under the cover of darkness. The relationship between China, Russia, and Iran is something that we should worry about. Again, Iran is not Iraq. Iran is not Libya. Iran is not Syria. Iran does have serious military capabilities, and with this larger clash of civilizations brewing, with this larger demise of the Saudi Arabian Empire, with Israel being right here, with the United States acting extremely irrational, and making a lot of the people in the world, again, the previous videos, the last 2 videos I made on this channel, by the way, I definitely recommend watching them if YouTube allows you to. If you're privileged enough, if you're lucky enough to even get our videos, because by the way, even if you click subscribe, even if you click the notification button, you may not even get the videos. Very few people actually do get the videos, but I strongly recommend watching actually these 2 right here. What is Donald Trump doing? And Red Alert. And in those videos, I specifically go over how the world outside of the U.S. mainstream media views this entire situation. And it's not that favorable towards the United States. Okay, let's go over the rest of the super chats and read over them. Brendan Thomas gave $1.11. Again, thank you so much for that question. Illusion77 for the $30 super chat. I hope I answered your question. I hope I was able to answer what was the end game and what will happen next. Cool Broad 9 says, typically love your work, but both countries are telegraphing de-escalation. Agree on the sociopaths that revealed themselves today, though. Okay, Cool Board 9, I disagree with you, and it's okay to disagree. I ask my viewers to disagree. I ask my viewers to send me evidence that contradicts what I am saying, because this is the only way that we could learn. Sometimes I have been wrong. And it's important to notify that. No one is perfect. No one gets everything right 100% of the time. It's about being humble, it's about listening, and it's about speaking your own truth, your own virtues, regardless of the gang that exists there. And one thing that has me really angry, you probably, I've been getting some comments, and people are like, holy cow, you're really angry on Twitter. Yes. Because I'm so sick of tired of people flipping on their principles, on their morals, on their values, on important things like life, liberty, freedom, the pursuit of happiness, like knowing that the deep state exists and that there's something aloof. All right? When I see people just flip, and automatically forget all of that because of power, because of their gang, I'm just disgusted, because I looked at some of these individuals and I'm like, okay, I respect this person for their work, but now they're willing to give all of that up for party politics, I mean, it just makes me want to hurl inside of my mouth. I just want to freaking throw up. That I'm seeing such low life activity of selling people down the river. And that's not something I believe in. Again, as you know here, I criticized Bush. I criticized Obama. I criticized Trump. I criticized all authority because authority needs to be criticized. That's the job of journalism. That's the job of reporting. That's a responsibility that a lot of other people should have. And if they had that responsibility, and if they had the ability to even reach people, because as you saw in our broadcast, you see how we're being limited. as you're looking at all of this, you have to understand our voices are being shut down, and our voices need to be louder than ever. So, Cool Broad 9, it's okay. I respect your opinion. When you're talking about telegraphing de-escalations, we're talking about also soldiers dying. We're also talking about the loss of human life that should be avoided at all costs. And I don't think we're going through de-escalations. I think the assassination, I think this latest attack by Iran, I think the counterattack by the United States are grave escalations. But again, you have your opinion. I have mine. This is why I believe what I believe in. M. Fisher, $5 pound super chat. War, huh? Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Oh, war. I despise because it means destruction of innocent lives. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, M. Fisher. Someone who gets it. Light green leaf. And you don't sell your soul for a political party. Oh, how rare. Okay, continuing on. Light green leaf says, what you'd call a Japanese terrorist? A wasabiist. Light green leaf, $2 super chat. I shouldn't be laughing at that. Thanks for lightening up the mood just a little bit. I always appreciate really, really, really corny dad jokes, and that was a pretty big dad joke, but pretty good one. So thank you. I sincerely thank you, like Greenleaf, for lightening it up a little bit. Proud Patriot USA says Jim Hoft is reporting the photo Iran used to show their attacks is from Gaza in 2019. Can you confirm this? We're still waiting for all this confirmation right now. Lindsey Graham just told Iran they'd be out of the oil business if they don't stop. Russia ain't going to like that. Yeah, Russia and China are not going to like that. That's the $5 super chat by RJ. China depends on Iran for a lot of its energy. If it wasn't for Iran, China wouldn't be the vast superpower that it is, because the potential for China is limited by its access to energy. And this is another important thing to understand here. Again, we're not choosing sides here. We're telling you both sides of the story. We're telling you the truth. We're telling you information that you can't get anywhere else because everyone else is acting like a freaking shill, and it's disgusting. Mike Mendoza, is it possible that the attack on the U.S. base was a false flag? Just a thought. We're going to see all the information, but with Iran confirming that it was them, it doesn't look like a false flag. It's always important to kind of look at that angle, but I believe that angle is not very possible here, with Iran directly saying we are responsible for this missile attack. Not rocket, missile. Donna Finkler says, love your channel. Keep up the great work. Boof. Well, thank you so much, Donna. Thank you so much for the super chats, guys. Again, I would not be here if it wasn't for your donations, for your super chats. Ben Savage, I may choose not to read this super chat because it has absolutely nothing to do with what we are talking about, and it is wildly inappropriate. So, Ben Savage, I appreciate the super chat, but I will respect myself to not read that. RJ says, Lindsey Graham. Okay, we just read your chat, RJ. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Logan, the dude, says, do you think we should quit our jobs now? Logan, the dude, I say you should always quit your job. Always look for something that is going after your dreams, your passions, and serving the good human dignity that you have, that you want to experience on this world. Never work a dead-end job. Never do something that you don't want to do in this life, because this life is extremely short. We should cherish it at every moment that we get. We should be happy that we have an existence, because sadly, a lot of people's existence will be cut short by the lunacy of sociopaths that are connected to elite pedophiles that are protecting child trafficking organizations that are literally out of their minds and will do anything and will sacrifice anybody for power, money, and control, and most likely more sinister, diabolical, satanic interest. But that's a whole nother issue to get into. John Jirius Wider gave 200. Holy cow, that's a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John Jiris Warder. You make this broadcast possible. Again, without you guys supporting us, we would not be here. There's many ways that you could support us. Again, and I don't want to bring this up now, but I have to because of the YouTube censorship, because of the demonetizations, because of just the absolute attacks that, as you've just seen, you can't even find our work anymore. You directly type in a direct video, you can't find it anymore. But the website link is wearechange.org/donate. I'm going to just copy it just in case if someone does want to help outside of YouTube. If someone does want to participate, I will just put that link in the comment section right now so people could click on it and support us outside of YouTube. And you can support us many ways, through PayPal, through cryptocurrencies. You could even support us without even having to spend a dime by using things like Brave, like Pre-Search, DLive, Steemit. We also have a P.O. Box. There's many different ways. We made it as easy as we can for people to get involved here, and your involvement is more critical than ever. If you have a voice, if you have the means, we appreciate it very, very much. And again, also just sharing this content means a lot to us. Cats are people too. Gave a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Avatas, good to see you. Avatas gave a $2 super chat saying #Solomon didn't kill himself. That is very true. I saw the hashtag Ricky Gervais didn't kill himself. Let's go back into the Twitterverse and see what is happening. Again, Iran versus USA is still trending. And again, we're getting very interesting videos. We're getting very interesting things from the mainstream media just 4 years ago, with CNN even talking about this general that Trump assassinated being mainly responsible for driving out and defeating ISIS. This is, I don't know if we could play this. Let's play a little bit of it.
Suggested Soleimani masterminded the victory. As military advisor, Soleimani is also credited with leading Shia militias and Iraqi troops in key wins against Islamic State forces, advancing on villages surrounding the capital, Baghdad. The Islamic State terrorists...
So imagine assassinating this guy now and the PR nightmare you have to deal with, especially with the information coming out that he was under the guise that he was going to a peace mission, that he was going to negotiate a de-escalation between him, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United States. And the Iraqi prime minister came out and said that Donald Trump asked him to come to Iraq so they could negotiate peace. Look at that PR. Look at the PR of this. Look at the PR out there. It's so critically important. And again, a lot of this information coming from U.S. state media and also Iranian state media. It's important to question both sides here. It's important to see what this conflict is actually about. Iran, this is according to DEFCON warning system Twitter account, saying that, quote, Iran says it has concluded its response for the killing of its general, indicating that it's hoping the U.S. will not respond to the recent attacks. The United States will most likely respond. I would be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked if the United States does not respond. This is someone saying that Germany trying their hardest not to invade Europe, knowing World War III is about. Okay, that's totally pointless here. Again, a lot of videos are circulating. None of them have been independently verified, so it's important. It is very, very important to question everything you see, especially if it's coming from the government. Especially if it's coming from the Iranian government or the U.S. government. They have been caught time and time again just utterly lying. But again, the bigger truth here is that the U.S. war machine does exist. It does lie to get us into wars. It does profit off of wars, and it leaves states devastated, and it makes the world a less safer place. The refugee crisis, the terrorism in the West, all because of direct blowback, all because of direct U.S. military intervention in Syria, in Yemen, in Libya, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and I could keep going on and on and on about the absolute lunacy that has been unfolding that is just idiotic. It's just stupid. Let's see if Donald Trump is tweeting right now. I'm very curious to see. He usually blurts certain stuff out there, so it's important to see. No, he only tweeted 8 hours ago. He also announced that he had a very good meeting with Saudi Arabia that he kept secret from the press. Many people are accusing him of a cover-up for that secret meeting that no one in the press knew about, with him meeting with Saudi Arabia after assassinating the Iranian general. Let's see what else is going on here with other news organization. It's also being reported that Indonesia is deploying fighter jets to the South China Sea amongst tensions with China. Again, the world is on edge, and rightfully so, with insane lunatics believing in the idea of government. Again, if you boil all this down, this really all comes down to the idea of government. Why should you believe in giving up your authority, giving up your power, giving up your sovereignty towards a mafioso middleman just taking a cut and doing a horrible job because of it? Now, you look around, if you're in America, you can't trust the government with frickin' potholes. And we're going to be trusting the government with protecting us? Yeah, sure. You're going to trust the government with launching a full-scale war? Yeah. No. I do not trust them. I do not believe them. It's important to question every single thing. Let's see what else other news organizations have up going on right now to see the latest information that is developing, that is breaking. Daily Mail, horrible news organization, but has a lot of great photos and videos. Their headline here is Iran fires tens of ballistic missiles at U.S. bases. I bet the United States is going to respond with about 100, maybe even a couple hundred, maybe even that symbolic 52 to represent the Iran U.S. hostages. But the headline goes on. Tens of ballistic missiles at U.S. bases in Iraq, including one visited by Trump in Operation Martham Soleimani, after promising crushing revenge for killing of top general. Iranian officials mocks Donald Trump by posting his country's flag to Twitter after airbase attack, as President did with the Stars and Stripes following General Soleimani's assassination. Iran threatens to hit Israel and even Dubai if U.S. retaliates over airbase bombing. Okay, so we have even another threat of retaliation on top of this original retaliation. Iran missiles can deliver a precise guided 500 warhead over range. Now Iran will go nuclear, defense expert says. Again, from all indications, Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. I was talking to a freaking Uber driver, and he was so conditioned and programmed by the mainstream media. He's like, no, Iran has a nuclear weapon. They're going to attack us. I'm like, no, that's just not going to happen. The nuclear capabilities, again, are not that sufficient or not that prominent from Iran. Donald Trump, again, I like to obey the law. Donald Trump walks back his threats to Iranian cultural sites, saying he won't order illegal strikes if mullahs strike at American targets. Again, we will see what will unfold here. Donald Trump in their sites. Iran mocks up a video of U.S. President being assassinated by Iranian terrorists who glance at a photo of Hassan Soleimani before opening fire. Wow. So yeah, as you can see, there's no way you could support any government here. You shouldn't support any government here. You should support peace. You should support truth. You should support doing the right thing. You should support not believing in government, believing in yourself, and decentralizing power so we don't face this problem that we're facing right now. NBC News, U.S. troops likely had warning before Iranian missile strikes. We're also getting information that U.S. radar was watching the missiles coming from Iran going directly into the Iraqi U.S. military installations. Let's keep moving on and seeing what else is happening here. I'm going to check my other Twitter account. Twitter's pretty crazy. Sometimes they show you a lot of not safe for work stuff, so I'm going to have to keep it on my second monitor. I got 3 monitors running. I got the news running in one, just in case if Donald Trump does decide to make a statement. Again, it looks like Donald Trump will not be making a statement, but just in case, I got the news, the mainstream media, propaganda running right now on the right-hand side of me. I got my main screen with all my news articles and the Twitter hashtag up on here, and I have the main Twitter display on my left screen here that I'm looking at right now, because again, just on the homepage of Twitter, a lot of not safe for work stuff comes up, and YouTube literally looks for any excuse to take us down and take any of our videos down. And we say a bad word or we show something bad, they're on us like white on rice. CNN lies, speculates about black holes swallowing airplanes, literally has one of their correspondents eat a human brain, shows gore, shows dead children. Yeah, they're fine. No, they're cool. Yeah, no, we could definitely keep showing everything that they do. Yeah, that's totally fine. So, okay, let's look at all of this. Just give me one particular moment to look over some of the things that people are saying. Again, everything that's happening right now just reminds me of the Iraq War. There's so many shills out there. There's so many pathetic people talking about 4D chess. Again, this is not 4D chess. And again, if you look at the reporting of Tucker Carlson, it's been pretty much dead on. He's not believing any of this 4D chess. He's talking about how Trump most likely won't get reelected. But again, with the popular polls, with the establishment now loving him, that's still up for fruition. Mike Cernovich also is saying that Donald Trump will not get elected now. He's saying what Tucker Carlson was saying a couple days ago. But again, the whole system's rigged. That's what people need to understand here. People think that we live under a fair and just system. No, the system's rigged. Donald Trump promised to be an anti-interventionist president, promised to bring the troops back, promised to do everything that Obama did that was bad in the Middle East, promised to bring peace to the region, bring the troops home. And he has done absolutely none of it. He has maintained Obama's wars and also increased them to a dangerous proportion. And I've been seeing this for a while. I've been calling it out for a while, ever since. Let's see if we can find this video. We probably won't. We Are Change. Let's see. Type it in my channel name. We Are Change. You guys are watching it live here. I never did this before. Trump, Kissinger. There's a meeting between Trump and Kissinger. Nothing. PBS NewsHour. Again, I typed in We Are Change. I typed in my news organization. I typed in Trump and I typed in Kissinger. I made a specific video before Donald Trump actually was inside the Oval Office saying that him meeting with Kissinger, I remember being in Goa, India, doing a walk and talk, and specifically saying Donald Trump being with Kissinger as his main advisor will create the same policies that we've seen with Obama. I was very careful what I said. I'm trying to find the video. Guess what? YouTube is censoring this channel to an extent. Look, Sky News, Fox News, AP, Face the Nation, Newsy. Look at all these corporate whore prostitutes of the dinosaur old media who were dying. They were dying. No one wanted to watch their propaganda. We got a video of me confronting Henry Kissinger. Finally, here we go. 3 years ago, breaking: Donald Trump picks hawks. CFR Kissinger aide to cabinet. Yeah, you could see this video, me calling it out 3 years ago, warning people. Finally, look at this. Look how long it takes to find the video. Keep going up and up and up. It's like number, what is it, 10, 15? Absolutely ridiculous. And again, you just keep going down. You're just gonna miss it. You're just gonna absolutely miss it because of the censorship. I confronted Kissinger 5 times. He's one of the masterminds behind a lot of the global chaos that's happening right now. There's no other way of saying that. He is the man behind the chaos. He is the man mainly responsible here for a lot of the bigger situation that is unfolding with the petrodollar, that is unfolding with oil, that is unfolding with the dollar on the world market. The person who is directly responsible for that is Henry Kissinger. We look at what's been happening here with Saudi Arabia. That's something that really needs to be called out, because this man is still seen as a hero. The man is the total opposite of that. What's Mark Dice saying? Maybe we should send Michael Moore to Iran because he would single-handedly destroy their entire food supply. And people are trying to make their jokes here, like Mark Dice here, but this is really distasteful. Since, of course, there's major severe economic sanctions on Iran by Donald Trump that is affecting a lot of the civilian population in Iran. Michael Moore, not a fan of him. He lost his mind. He's a total. He's another crazy person that has absolutely gone bananas. But I don't agree with some of the distasteful comments by Mark Dice here. Not the time to be talking about food supply and just hating your liberal when war is happening. Again, as I've been saying, the war has been happening. It's only escalating now. And again, it's just absolutely ridiculous what is happening right now. Let's pray for everyone in the region. Let's pray that no one gets hurt. Let's pray for a de-escalation. Let's pray for this situation not getting out of hand and both parties walking away here and opening up diplomatic communications. Again, the diplomacy has been specifically cut. Bitcoin went up 5%. Holy cow. Again, diplomacy has been cut by the United States. That's another important thing to mention here. But we're looking at the latest numbers. We're getting that gold jumped 1%. Crude oil jumped 2.4%. Lockheed Martin, of course, jumped 4.7%. And then Bitcoin looks like it has the highest gain out of this instability with a 5.4% jump in its evaluation. We're going to keep moving on here. Again, more video footage. This time it looks from the South China Sea that allegedly shows this. There's been some fake video footage going around. But this is some of it right here, right now, as we're watching it in front of our eyes. And again, these are reportedly the missiles from Iran, not rockets, but the missiles that were fired on U.S. military installations just moments ago in Iraq. So it looks like Donald Trump has tweeted. Hey, let's go see what statements we are getting from the U.S. president right now. There's also reports that there have been, luckily, no casualties from the American side. Again, that has not been corroborated. We got Mike Cernovich already responding here. Iran don't want none. I know Iran is happening, but I'm going to have to say that the CNN Covington lawsuit is a bigger story. What? Totally disagree there, but moving on. Donald Trump just tweeted, all is well. Missiles launched from Iran at 2 military bases located in Iraq. Assessment of casualties and damage taking place now. Again, we're getting some numbers unconfirmed that 0 Americans luckily have been killed, but we do not know that for sure. But he's saying, so far, so good. We have the most powerful and well-equipped military anywhere in the world. By far, I will be making a statement tomorrow morning. All right, so we're going to be following that statement very closely. Of course, we're going to be reporting on this situation like we have been from its earliest onset. Hold on, let's see. Donald Trump is retweeting a whole bunch of people. Cruz pushes Senate resolution praising Soleimani's mission. And what's Ted Cruz thinking? Lindsey, he's retweeting Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio, the biggest staunch neoconservatives, lunatics in the House of Representatives right now. Michael Rubio says, U.S. intent with regards to Iran is clear. Future U.S. military action depends entirely on what Iran decides to do first. When did he retweet this? This is 8 hours ago. This is 21 minutes ago. But again, you look at the president's Twitter account, him just blasting Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio is extremely, extremely troubling. Since these are just very ill-informed neocons who have a bloodlust. And let's call it for what it is. These people have absolute intentions for war, for more conflict. So this is the latest statement. We're going to be keeping a close eye on the statement that Donald Trump is going to be announcing from here. We got more super chats just to answer them. Scott Bazer says, hey, Luke, thanks for being real. Thank you so much, Scott. Really appreciate that. I couldn't do it without your support. Cool Broad 9 says, check Trump's tweet. Thank you for your work. Thank you so much, Cool Broad 9, again, for the $15 super chat and for commenting a second time. And thank you for having the ability to disagree with someone like we disagreed before, but still willing to hear them out. I appreciate that, and also know I'm willing to hear you out at any moment in time. John Reish said, General Wesley Clark, we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years. I actually confronted General Wesley Clark on that specific issue. Let me find you guys the video. I'm gonna play this video in just a little bit as well, but it's me confronting General Wesley Clark on that specific issue. Me looking him in the eyes and was like, hey, let's talk about this plan of war. As I loaded up right here. Hold on. Very telling video. If you haven't, I'm going to play it in just a little bit. Let me just finish going over all the super chats here, and then I will get back to everyone. David Gerbic. Wow. Thank you, David. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. $300 super chat really means the world to me. Thank you. Thank you so much. John, I'm going to show you that video in just a little bit. Let me just make sure I respectively answer everyone who invested into We Are Change, this independent news organization right now. Thomas F. Holland says, keep reporting all the facts. That's why we support you. Well, thank you so much, Thomas. When I give my opinion, I try to let you know it's my opinion. When I speculate, when I theorize, I try to let you know I'm speculating and theorizing. I think it's important for people to tell you what they are doing, and I do try to keep it reporting, but I do share some opinions and I do share some theories. But thank you for the encouragement. Gabriel Villa, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Logan, the dude, says, is the dollar going to crash within the year? It's impossible to say, Logan, the dude. The dollar has been a currency that has been miraculously going up, even though it is filled with absolute debt. The dollar, the U.S. government is indebted to the tune of $22 or $23 trillion. There's no way there is economic viability and the survival of the dollar, especially with these latest geopolitical conundrums, with China rising as a competing power to the United States. It is definitely not going to last forever. That is for sure. Specifically speaking about the dollar. Yagi, $4.20 super chat says, cheers from Ohio. Thank you, Yagi. Blake Smith, $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Blake Smith. Sean Davidsman, YouTube kicked me from your vid shadow ban full swing. Yep, they do that. They do that. And it's absolutely ridiculous what's happening here. Obscure Shadow, $25 super chat. Thank you so much. Try Binafin says, hey, Luke, just got home from work. Do we know for sure that Iran retaliated? Yes, we do know for sure Iran retaliated. Or did some malicious actors set up a retaliation to blame them? That's also something that we should be on the lookout for. But the Iranian government did issue an official statement that I am seeing reported and I'm seeing repeated. So it does look like Iran did, in fact, decide to retaliate. Ibadid gave $5.49, put Trump and Khamenei in a cage and let them fight. Yeah. I agree. Let's take the Iranian leader. Let's take Donald Trump, put him in a cage match, fight to the death. Let's go. Settle your differences. Two crazy people, idiots. Let them deal with it. Let them deal with it. You want to fight? Go fight. I don't see Donald Trump's sons volunteering for the military, by the way. I don't see a lot of these magatards volunteering for the military. If you really believe in this cause, like so many of these personalities do, put your money where your mouth is. But again, I am a big proponent in the old-fashioned way that combat used to be performed, with the head of a faction, the head of a kingdom, the king being on the front lines, being the first person to go into battle. I'm a big fan of that. That's a tradition that should have never been let go. That's a tradition that should have been continued, and it should be brought back. Not so says, hey, Luke, do you see Kyle? No, I don't see Kyle. Who's Kyle? I don't know. 420 Jobs Board gave $2 super chat saying cool. Jim Sate Armor, $10 super chat. Thank you. California Uber Ellis says, buy Bitcoin. I want my 65 Impala in 2020. There was a $2 super chat that has been redacted. Alex gave a $5 super chat saying, great job on all you do, Luke. Enjoy your content a ton. Wish I could donate more, but I'm just a broke student. Hey, I totally understand. Don't worry about it. Your support, $5, means the world to me. There's ways of supporting us without even having to spend a single dime, which also earns you crypto. But that's a whole nother story. You could get all that information by going to the link that I am putting in the chat room right now. And all the people that do support us, all the people that keep us going, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Really, really deep down, appreciate it. Especially David Gerbic. Thank you so much for that. Especially John Ajiris Wadder. Thank you so much for that. And as this information is unfolding in front of our very eyes, it's important not to panic. It's important to stay calm. It's important to understand that governments lie. They lie. They have an agenda. And of course, we always have to look at all sides of the story, which I hope I was able to do in this broadcast. With this latest tweet from Donald Trump, we will take it and return back in the morning, where we will give you more updated coverage on this YouTube channel. And I will leave you with me playing my confrontation with General Wesley Clark. You guys need to watch this if you haven't watched this. My one-on-one, face-to-face confrontation with him about the 7-country plan that we're seeing unfold in front of our very eyes. I love you guys. Thank you again so much for donating, for subscribing, for being here with me. I wouldn't be here. The only reason we have some kind of reasonable voice, the only reason we're still able to speak is because of you. And I can't thank you enough for your support. I love you guys. Check out this video right now.
General Wesley Clark, Luke Rudowski, WRC. There's one question, if I could just ask you if that's okay. Would that be all right? Sure. There's a speech going around right now on the internet where you talked about the upcoming wars in Syria and Libya and Iraq and Afghanistan, saying that people were telling you this was going to happen.
Came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
It's happening now. Is there a follow-up? Is there any information you know or any thoughts on the speech you gave?
No, those were discussions that were being held in the Pentagon a decade ago, reflecting discussions from 1991. And it's a tragedy how it's unfolded.
Seeing it come true, it's unfolding. What does that say to the larger extent of everything?
It says that the United States needs to be a strong force for peace and justice and global cooperation in the world.
Do you have anything else you want to say about that talk or any information you came across? And how do you feel Obama's handling Syria right now? It's just mind-blowing that he only said that he hopes that the U.S. is a force for peace and that we need to be a force for peace when we're not. So there's obviously a lot of other things that Wesley Clark knows but is not saying. What are those particular things? We don't know, but there's a lot more to the story than we know, and that's why we're here trying to find out. Ask questions, demand answers. Look up that speech by Wesley Clark. It's a very powerful one. He told us exactly what we're going to get into, all the wars, all the foreign aggressions, and we're in them now. It is happening. This is all a plan. It's nuts. Are you kidding me?